game. There's four guys there to help him up. It's just soft. It's barely entertainment. I mean, just barely it entertains me to some point. Like, I would much rather watch the Stanley Cup Finals than the NBA Finals because this shit is they're just so soft. They're just so soft. Like, you see somebody get knocked out of the air and they turn around and bump chests. You know, in the 80s, they were knocking guys out over that stuff. You know, it was just, they were men and these guys are grown males, and that's just what it is. It's barely entertaining. So I'm somewhat intrigued to find out how LeBron will take his, if I'm not mistaken, his sixth NBA Finals loss. I've got to see how that plays out because this is unprecedented. People are keep talking about Bron. Bron is on the verge of having six NBA Finals losses. Series losses. Now you're like, well, you got to get to six to have six losses. Who cares? Who really cares? Your ultimate resume is established by wins. When you talk about great players, Jordan, 6 wins. Irvin has 5 finals wins. NBA Finals championships. Kareem, I think he has 6 because he had one with the Bucks. These guys have championships, multiple championships, big-time players. LeBron is a big-time player. I'm not hating on LeBron. He's a big-time player. He is just not. When you start talking about Jordan, stop. It is madness to talk about LeBron James being the equivalent of Michael Jordan. There isn't an equivalent, and nobody was a bigger hater of Michael Jordan than me. Because I was a diehard Piston, and when you were a Piston fan in the late 80s, or even in the 80s period, and into the 90s, Jordan was public enemy number 1. Nobody in Detroit or the state of Michigan liked Jordan. Every time the Pistons put him on his back, everybody was cheering. But when you actually sit back and watch how he just took over the NBA, he won me over. I was won over by Michael Jordan's competitive nature and how he just dominated the rest of the competition. These are all NBA players that get paid. They're the best players on the planet, and Jordan would just shred them week after week. LeBron isn't like that. I mean, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? It's the equivalent of these losers that sit up and talk about how much better the United States is for. I'm not even going to. Anyway. LeBron James is a great basketball player. He's one of the best. He's not the best. He's not even in the neighborhood with the best. 6 championships. 6. 0 finals. He never lost in the finals. Never. People keep talking about, well, he lost to Penny and Shaq in Orlando. He didn't play the whole season. He came back at the end, at the end, and then for the playoffs. You see what he did the next year when he came back. 1996, he embarrassed everyone. So don't sit up and talk about how him losing in the conference finals or whatever. Jordan's 6-0 undefeated in the NBA Finals. LeBron James is about to have 6 losses in the NBA Finals. So all you LeBron worshipers, suck that. Try that one. See how it tastes. LeBron, 6 times. Well, he hasn't played. He just fast forward a couple weeks. Mid-June, he will have 6 losses. If they even win one game in the finals, it's a victory. So remember, I told you, 1. They might get 1 at home, and then they go back to Golden State and close it out. So not really impressed with this version of Celtics Lakers with Cleveland and the Dubs, but I had a good laugh out of it, so it was super fun anyway. College football, 95 days until Utah State comes to town. Boy, they're about to take a drubbing. I got Michigan State minus 40 points in that game. 40. He's not even going to call off the dogs. Like, I'm about to send a message to the rest of the 10 about this right here. I've got Lewerke. All my receivers are back. My linebackers. A secondary. I don't even want to talk about this secondary. You might not throw up completed pass on this secondary. It's sick. They are so athletic and fast. Their recovery, like, just stop. No flies back. And with all due respect to Trey Waynes and Darqueze Dennard, which was lights out in 2013, lights out, best defense in the country. This secondary is a bit better. They're more athletic. Now, they might not put the work in and they won't be better, but as it stands on paper, this secondary is sick. So, you already can't run. The number 2 rush defense in the country last year, only behind the Tide. And if you can't run, you've got to throw the ball. Well, if you can't throw and you can't run, Michigan State score a field goal and they're going to the college football playoff. And I promise you, they're going to score more than a field goal. Matter of fact, October 20th, that clown and pony show out of Ann Arbor is coming to town. Man, they keep talking about that defense in Ann Arbor. I don't know who's talking about it. I heard somebody talking about it. It was some guy at Kroger's that worked in the deli was talking about how good their defense was. I was like, oh, Dad, slice me some more prime rib and shut up. Anyway, the Michigan State version, I don't even know how people are going to score on this team. I don't know. This defense is sick. The offense is lights out. Michigan State's going to blow through. I told you, with the one exception, it's going to be a tough game in Happy Valley against Trace McSorley and Penn State. They're going to have a marginally tough game against the Ohio State Buckeyes. And that's really it. I mean, everybody else is just nothing, and trash heap in Ann Arbor thinks that, they're on the same level. They're not. So, not even going to talk about them. Matter of fact, I made a promise I wouldn't talk about them the whole show. I broke it, but whatever. They're trash. Fans are ugly. U of M's trash. I had to get it in one more time this year. Anyway, that is what's going on. Spartan football. My God. Little special shout out. At Tailgate, we are going to have a location shoot that day. Unsportsmanlike conduct is going on the road August 31st, Mount Hope and Farm Lane. I need you guys to come out early if you're coming out to the tailgate, because this is what happens. The tailgate's all ready to rock and roll, and people start filing in, and then people want to get pictures with me and autographs and things like that. And I just don't have time for all that once the tailgate starts. So I'm trying to, if you're going to bring your kids out or you want to come out and get a picture with me or whatever, make sure you get there early now. And I think the tailgate starts at noon-ish. So try to be there between 11 and 12. I'm going to take all the pictures you want, sign all the autographs, but it's got to be before noon, because once the libation starts, you already know I'm all in. So I'm going to see all of you. Don't forget, August 31st, the first ever location shoot from a tailgate, Mount Hope and Farm Lane, August 31st, noon, 11 o'clock if you want pictures. And I'm looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a super fun day, lots of good times. Michigan State is a heavy favorite against Utah State. Not a shocker. I've got them. I think they said the line was 27. I got it 42. They win 50 to 10. I go 50 to 7. They win by 43 points. It's a blowout. It's not even close. Similar to our friends from Ann Arbor, what they'll get when they come here. So that's what's going on with this right here. I got to say this before I close this out. This has easily been my favorite year for doing this show. Now, friends from the past know that the show it is what it was, and it was. But this has been the most fun year that I've had doing this show. It has been this has been a success all the way around. It has just been more fun than I planned on. So I want to say thank you to absolutely everyone who helped me get this show up and going. My producer, Eric Schoberg, my social media director, Tamara Curtis, my video photographer, Justin Gonzalez, the best staff that money can buy. And just a heads up, a couple of you should probably look for a new job before next season because you just, yeah, whatever. You know, they know. So, whatever. I want to thank all of the guests for this season. And I'm joke. I like to get on here and have a good time, but this is a heartfelt thank you to some good people who helped me this year. Herb Haygood, Paul Davis, Flozell Adams, Charlie Bell, Amp Campbell, Monquez Wedlow, Little John Flowers, Fred Ferrier, and Jennifer Williams. Thank all of you very much for everything that you did, for your time, for your help, for helping me get people in the right places and doing all those things. Thank all of you. I can't even thank you enough, so I'm not even going to try. Thank you. For real, thank you. All of the fun stories and anecdotes you shared during this season and help me and anybody else who was watching understand what goes on behind the scenes. Flozell was talking about when we were talking about when they franchise a player, Fred Ferrier showing behind the scenes coaching things, Lil John talking about his trials through, trying to get to the New York Jets, and Herb Haygood walking us through flows, just Charlie Bell really telling us. There was Paul Davis. Thank all of you, for real. So thanks for that. Next season we'll have, I promise you, all new guests. It's going to be outstanding. Our second season. Already got brought back for a second year, so I'm excited about that. We'll have some special location shoots. I just alluded to one that will be at the tailgate, but there's a couple more. As a matter of fact, I can't even hold it in anymore. One location shoot that'll be a fact is I'm going to shoot live from the sidelines during a Michigan State football game. And you think that I'm full of crap because I sit up and talk junk all the time. But I promise you, have my word, one game next year, I'm going to do it on the sideline during the Michigan State game, live, like halftime of the game. And if I had some good friends down at the stadium, it would be October 20th for the Michigan game, and I'd really dog Harbaugh, just embarrass and eviscerate their whole. They'd be so sick at the end of the game. I might mess around and get them hyped up and whatever. So maybe I shouldn't do that. So anyway. Location shoot, Spartan Stadium's coming next year. It's gonna be a fantastic year. We will be back on the air August 26th for a college football preview. And I say a college football preview, it's a Spartan preview, because all the other teams I really don't care about. But I am going to be somewhat partial. I'm going to talk about some other teams. I will not talk about that raggedy team in Ann Arbor because nobody cares. But I am going to talk about some football. But primarily, it will be a preview to Spartan football, which 5 days later they kick off against Utah State. So it is going to be a fun year. The next season is going to be real fun, and I'm excited about it. What a year! What a fantastic year! This has been more fun than I could ever. What is this? No, we're going to stop that right now. You know what I'm doing. This is the end of the year. I'm bringing sexy back. That's what I do. 2018 season is wrapping up. Thank all of you for tuning in. Thanks once again to all the guests. Don't forget all of our new friends that enjoy a healthy shot of Fireball from time to time. They know who they are. I will see you next season for all new unsportsmanlike conduct. Until then, I am going to bring sexy back. I am the host of Unsportsmanlike Conduct, Matthew Geller. And I will see you right back here, August 26th. Until then.